www.mountblanco.com. That's just lowercase mtblanco.com. We anglicized Mount Blanco, but it's mountblanco.com. And you can order the books on there, and I think there's a response number you can call up. But we got some more cool stuff happening with the cryptid things. We got a lot of that stuff around here. We're going to start publishing on it pretty soon, and maybe having some invitations. People to come in. Let's talk about some of the stuff, because we got some wild things here on Route 651, and we want to make it public.
Well, Joe, I got to cut you loose. Our time is up. I want to thank you for coming back on, and maybe we'll talk to you again here in the next couple months again.
Yeah, glad to be on. Enjoyed it.
Okay, you take care, my friend, and have a great week.
All right, you too.
All
Bye.
Right.
Bye-bye, Joe. Bye.
So we'll be back in about 2.5 minutes. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark. My name is Gary. I run the show, and James out there, who's really been quiet tonight. Unusual for James. We'll be back after these.
Selfish and cruel since his youthful days in school. His siblings he never did treat well. His self-centered bent was his dark side lament, with a focus on hypnotizing spells. He memorized laws to help sharpen his claws for a future for which he was bent. The time would surely come when for office he would run and claim he was just heaven sent.
Another politician has just taken center stage. He tells all the people that he loves them so. He comes on like a sage, says with him they should engage. A false prophet selling endless empty prose.
Stepped over dead bodies on his climb to the top. The highest post was his aspiration, but he forgot to read the fine print in the contract that he signed, which caused a U-turn to his final destination.
You can advertise your business on Night Dreams Talk Radio, and you will be heard worldwide. Why not contact us at nightdreamstalkradio@gmail.com. Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark wants to give a big shout out to all the truckers that listen to our show. You're listening to Night Dreams Talk Radio After Dark with our host, Gary Anderson.
And that is me. Well, again, I'm hoping everybody's, driving safe out there. A big shout out, I'm losing my voice. I'm not feeling too good here. Big shout out to all the truckers who listen to Night Dreams Talk Radio. Without you guys, we wouldn't be here. Trust me, you guys are a big part of the audience. James, are you there?
Yes, I am. Could you imagine all the cryptids or whatnot the truckers have seen in West Texas and all them quiet highways?
Oh, I wouldn't doubt if they, I get a lot of reports from truckers saying that they see, strange things, out there. Like I told you about that one trucker that saw a cow going head first up in the sky. I mean, with no ropes or chains or anything like that. And then you look at all the animal, abductions and mutilations and around there. It makes you, wonder what is going on.
Absolutely. I know that if I was in a middle of the night, quiet highway going along, and I see a cow hanging, 100 feet in the air or something, that would almost make you wreck. Yeah, I know one thing, I wouldn't stop or pull over. I'd keep going.
Well, yeah, and more than that, I'd be terrified. I don't know. The one trucker told me that story. He said when he got back, he told his boss, you know what, I'm not doing any long hauls anymore. If you want me, I'll do day job, but I won't go out there in the night. Because, you know how scary that is. I mean, what would stop maybe him from going up in that light, going up in the sky? If they decided they're going to, mutilate and abduct a cow. I mean, and you know what's really scary is some of these reports are coming out that these cattle are being mutilated. They're being mutilated while they're alive and while they're still standing. Can you imagine the pain and the suffering? So whoever is doing this stuff doesn't care about, some creature that they're abducting and experimenting on or removing whatever they're removing on them. They don't care. They just don't care. So what's the difference if it's a cow or an elk or a human? I mean, that's what is really scary the more you think about it.
It absolutely is, and you touched on a good point. Maybe they're still conscious or standing up. Look what Calvin said. He was standing up, and they were sticking fingers up his nose and or in his mouth and out his nose. I mean, that would be terrible. My goodness.
Well, yeah, especially they don't even have the decency to put you to sleep. So there you're wide awake, right? And you got some creature putting their hand down your throat and trying to come out your nose, which is totally impossible. But let alone, you're gagging because, I mean, when they put their hand down your throat, what are you going to do? You can't breathe. So what's going to go in your mind? It's fear, scared, like you wouldn't believe.
Absolutely. I got a feeling I would probably just try to bite the fingers off. I don't know. But at that point, I would feel like I'd have nothing to lose. It'd be terrible, terror.
Yeah, well, I don't know if you could bite their hand off when it's sticking your hand down there. Now, we also got Sam on. Sam, did you hear the little part they were talking about, like, Joe was talking about, like, Bigfoot, why there probably hasn't been any bones for him?
Yeah, I caught that. Can you hear me all right?
Oh, yeah, we can hear you fine.
Oh, yeah. About the part where perhaps they eat their own?
Maybe there's a possibility that, there is some native tribes out there yet. When the dead is dead, they eat the dead and feel that if by eating them, that brings them into their life. I don't know. Maybe a Bigfoot just looks at, well, they're dead. That's food.
Yeah, I was just kind of wondering how they got that idea, but that's an interesting opinion, I guess.
Well, like the bones and stuff like that, depending on where the Bigfoot is at. Again, even if they bury their bones, how long is the bones going to last before some other creature digs it up and starts gnawing on it and dragging it away? It makes me wonder where the bones are going for the Bigfoot, but it makes sense to me when he said that they maybe eat their dead. And think about that. I mean, they could be cannibals. Again, we only can surmise what a Bigfoot eats, what it is. Are they a space alien? Are they paranormal? Are they kind of a ghost thing? Or are they a hologram? I don't know. But we really don't know till we physically get some type of remains. At least the fur or something, the skin or teeth. I would think the teeth would at least survive, of anything.
That's a good point. The Gigantopithecus, they were finding their teeth in a cave, and everything was gone but the teeth, and the porcupines were eating on those, and the Chinese were getting them and making medicine out of them. That's how those teeth were discovered from the Gigantopithecus. And also, I think there was a tooth supposedly found up there near Bluff Creek in California, Northern California. It's in that one museum, if I'm thinking right.
Well, I don't know.
That's where the Patty film took place, I think.
Yeah.
I believe, yep.
I don't know. I just wish someday somebody can find some remains or something. But again, I think that the Bigfoot population is so sparse and maybe so far out that to find anything, and who knows how long they live. They could be living 100, 200 years old. I mean, you look how long turtles live, for example.
Yeah, well, it got to be what really impressed me for the discussion with was it Joe or Tom?
Joe,
Taylor?
That was my fault. I'm not feeling good.
Oh, okay.
I am really sick tonight.
That was Joe Taylor or Tom Taylor? Oh,
that is Joe. Tom is his brother.
Joe. Okay, cool. I was really impressed with them talking about the others like the dinosaurs are the ones that might still be alive. And you know what? There was a report of some campers in Southern Oregon, part of a group that I'm aware of, that actually saw a pterodactyl flying nearby. And down in that part about 4 years ago.
Well, I do think there's things out there yet, dinosaurs and stuff like that. Remember, he was talking like this giant, was it like lizard type thing? It would have been like 5-6 feet tall. And, you know, again, it goes into like caves and stuff like that. Who knows? It could be in some of these underground caves.
Well, it's kind of like the same MO, like Bigfoot. They just totally, it's got the same kind of characteristics. They just show up and then they disappear. And this is what the different sightings they have. Nobody's got a picture of those either, do they?
No, this reports of people claiming they have seen them. But I mean, these reports go back so far that I find it really hard to discredit all of them. You know, I really think that they are certain things. You know, I didn't have a time tonight with Joe, but last time he was on, he was talking about in Africa. You know, when he was in Africa, there was a report of in a village of one of the villagers went out to, you know, go hunting and saw a pig, and he got ready to spear the pig, but a miniature T-Rex, like about 9-10 foot tall, grabbed this pig in its mouth. He threw the spear and then took off running, scared, naturally. Runs back to the village and tells the villagers, hey, I saw a, T-Rex or a dinosaur or whatever, and it attacked the pig that was going to spear. They didn't believe him. They went out there and they noticed the smell. It stunk really bad the next day. And then they saw the miniature T-Rex with a pig in its mouth. Now, I mean, there's been reports like that in different places, like in Argentina, Brazil, Paraguay, the jungles and the Amazon and Africa of, creatures yet. It's supposed to have been dead how many years ago?
And they just show up. They just seem to show up. Did we ever ask them if there was a greater frequency of sightings versus the past, let's say the 1800s or early in the last century?
No,
or is this more? Oh, okay.
Yeah, we were talking about.
It was asked.
Yeah, it wasn't because of the time factor. I mean, when he's on, right. I mean, it's a wealth of information. Just like like he was saying, finding footprints with dinosaurs. A lot of the scientists say, "Oh no, humans weren't walking around when the dinosaurs were there." But like he said, he's found fossilized footprints of humans, next to dinosaur bones. So what's that tell you?
I have seen those in the past. I mean, I don't generally forget information or when I see pictures. So not that I have a photographic memory or anything like that, but it doesn't feel my attention that I've seen this before. So it doesn't surprise me. I mean, when you talk about some of these myths and legends like King Arthur, and then you're talking about times and medieval times, and you start talking about dragons, for instance. Well, perhaps these dragons were actually some form of dinosaur and that inhabited the area. I mean, you really don't know for sure.
Well, one thing Joe mentioned when he was on one of the other shows, we were talking about dragons, and again, like medieval, England at the time, where it was dragons. Well, he said there were dinosaurs that actually spit out an acid which would dissolve your flesh. And they could have, that fire, that breathing fire, could have been the acid, that these dinosaurs spit out.
Oh,
absolutely!
I think there's
it.
Yeah, isn't there another some kind of animal or some kind of, I don't know if it's a reptile animal that they do spit out an acid or something. There's some
lizard. There's a lizard that does it.
What is it?
There's a lizard that spits out an acid.
There you go. And a lizard is very, very much related to the dinosaurs are considered reptiles. So this really part of the same family then.
Well, if you go back to King Arthur time or whatever in England, medieval, right? When they talked about dragons spitting out fire, again, I think maybe it wasn't fire as like what we would think fire is. It could have been acid